Imagine for a moment that the most sophisticated and powerful pharmacy you could ever access is actually located right inside the familiar walls of your own kitchen. We are diving deep into a world of healing foods that cost almost nothing and rely entirely on simple ingredients you likely already have sitting in your pantry right now. These are the recipes that mothers have whispered to their daughters for centuries, and that soldiers have carried in their memories across the most chaotic battlefields in history. These traditional dishes got families through the most brutal winters, through widespread famines, and through terrifying plagues without the need for a single modern prescription. Most people today do not realize that while we are busy ordering delivery for every sniffle, there are ancient recipes that have been restoring human bodies for thousands of years. These dishes were built not just for their comforting flavor, but for actual healing through real ingredients, real biological science, and real physiological results. Today, I'm going to show you 20 of these forgotten recipes that have the potential to change the way you think about your daily food forever. You should stick around because number 10 on this list has been eaten for over 5,000 years, and modern gut health research has finally confirmed exactly why it works. Number 20 is so ancient and so remarkably simple that it actually predates the invention of cooking pots entirely and might be the most restorative thing you eat this week. We focus on saving you significant amounts of money while empowering you to take complete charge of your own health through the power of traditional cooking. Let us get into these 20 forgotten recipes that have the power to heal you almost instantly, ranked from the merely impressive to the absolutely incredible. We begin with number 1, which is pastina in broth, often referred to as a comforting sick day in a bowl for anyone who grew up in an Italian household. If you grew up in such a family, you already know the power of these tiny star-shaped pasta pieces cooked gently in chicken broth until they are perfectly soft. The recipe involves stirring in butter and Parmesan cheese and finishing it with a beaten egg to create a meal that Italian grandmothers used long before ibuprofen existed. The reason this works is not based on magic, but on precise biological engineering, because chicken broth provides the essential sodium and potassium your body craves. The broth also contains glycine, which is an amino acid that supports the repair of your gut lining and works to reduce systemic inflammation throughout your entire body. The pastina itself provides an easily digestible starch that gives your cells fuel when your body does not have the energy to manage any complex or heavy foods. The addition of butter provides necessary fat-soluble nutrients, while the Parmesan delivers calcium and glutamate to signal the brain that deep nourishment is finally coming. Number 2 is the Polish soup known as jurek, which might be the most powerful fermented gut restorer on this entire list, despite being unknown to many. This sour rye soup is built on a living fermented starter and is loaded with sausage, potatoes, and garlic to create a living probiotic broth for your system. The lactic acid bacteria that develop during this fermentation process support your gut microbiome diversity and strengthen your overall immune function during times of stress. Number 3 brings us to the Scottish Cullen skink, a smoked haddock chowder made specifically for the bone-deep exhaustion that cold and damp climates produce in people. Smoked haddock provides the iodine that is absolutely critical for proper thyroid function and immune regulation, along with essential omega-3 fatty acids for your heart. The combination of milk and potatoes delivers calcium and resistant starch that feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut while restoring your electrolyte balance after a long illness. We move to number 4 with the French potage parmentier, an elegantly simple healer made from leeks and potatoes blended into a silky and gentle cream. Leeks are remarkably rich in prebiotic compounds that feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut while providing anti-inflammatory flavonoids to help your body recover faster. Number 5 is Russian buckwheat kasha with mushrooms, a foundation that has sustained people through centuries of hard winters and demanding physical labor. Buckwheat is actually a nutrient-dense seed rich in rutin, a bioflavonoid that strengthens your capillary walls and significantly improves your overall blood circulation. The mushrooms in this dish add essential beta-glucans, which are polysaccharides that modern clinical research shows can stimulate your immune function and modulate chronic inflammation. Number 6 is the Italian aquacotta, which literally translates to cooked water and represents the genius of turning almost nothing into a deeply restorative meal for the family. By sauteing onions and garlic and olive oil and adding greens and bread, you create a nutritional architecture that modern food science would struggle to improve upon. Number 7 is the ancient Roman cabbage and white bean stew, a meal that allowed Roman armies to march 20 miles a day on a very low budget. Cabbage is a cruciferous powerhouse loaded with sulforaphane, a compound with documented anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer effects that modern researchers are still studying today. The white beans provide the resistant starch and plant protein necessary for a healthy gut and long-term energy levels during times of high physical demand. Number 8 is rice gruel with ginger, which is arguably the oldest healing food in continuous use on Earth and is still prescribed by traditional practitioners today. When rice is cooked very slowly in a large amount of water until it breaks down, the starch becomes a pre-digested paste that your body can use with almost zero effort. The ginger added to the pot provides gingerols and shogalls, which have well-documented effects against nausea and microbial infections in the digestive tract. Number 9 is the Finnish salmon soup known as lohiketo, a Nordic brain and body tonic that provides the essential fats needed for survival in dark climates. Wild salmon is one of the richest dietary sources of omega-3 fatty acids like EPA and DHA, which are the fats that build your brain cell membranes. Clinical evidence for these fats in supporting mood and reducing systemic inflammation is substantial and continues to grow in the world of modern nutritional science. Number 10 is the Armenian spaz, a yogurt and barley soup that has been eaten for at least 5,000 years to rehabilitate the human digestive system. Barley is one of the highest beta-glucan foods on Earth, while the yogurt brings live lactic acid bacteria to restore the balance of your microbiome. The combination of these two ingredients creates a sophisticated gut rehabilitation protocol that ancient civilizations discovered through thousands of years of quiet observation. Number 11 is Ukrainian beet leaf soup, which is a forgotten liver tonic that uses the nutrient-dense greens of the plant that many people unfortunately throw away. Beet greens are a rich source of betalains and pigments with potent antioxidant effects that support your liver detoxification pathways and protect your eye health. Number 12 is Syrian red lentil soup, which might be the oldest comfort food in human history and is nearly perfect in its nutritional composition for the body. Red lentils provide folate and iron, while the addition of lemon juice at the end dramatically increases the bioavailability of that iron through the power of vitamin C. Number 13 is German bread soup, a waste-nothing healer that uses stale bread to create a source of resistant starch that feeds your gut bacteria effectively. The long and slow cooking of the onions in this recipe creates quercetin compounds that have powerful anti-inflammatory effects for anyone recovering from a cold. Number 14 is the incredibly simple garlic and egg drop broth, which can be made in under 15 minutes using only 3 very basic kitchen ingredients. Garlic contains allicin, which is one of the most studied antimicrobial compounds in food science, with documented activity against a wide variety of viruses and fungi. Number 15 is Turkish tarhana soup, an ingenious fermented superfood that was the ancient answer to having probiotic nutrients available during the cold winter months. This fermented dried powder is much more bioavailable than its original ingredients and acts as a probiotic supplement that grandmothers invented thousands of years ago. Number 16 is the Portuguese caldo verde, a green broth made from kale that provides more calcium per calorie than milk and is rich in vitamin K. Number 17 is millet porridge with stewed apples, a gut-healing breakfast that was once the standard morning meal for children and recovering patients across many cultures. Millet is a gluten-free grain that is exceptionally easy to digest, while the pectin in the stewed apples soothes intestinal inflammation and feeds your beneficial bacteria. Number 18 is white bean and fennel soup, an Italian digestive healer that uses the antispasmodic effects of fennel to calm the digestive tract almost instantly. Number 19 is onion bread broth, a winter remedy that relies on the patience of slow cooking to release the maximum amount of healing quercetin from the onions. Number 20 is the ash-roasted sweet potato with cultured butter, which represents perhaps the most ancient act of human cooking and remains a complete nutritional miracle. Sweet potatoes are rich in beta-carotene and potassium, while the cultured butter provides the fat-soluble vitamins and short-chain fatty acids that your body needs to thrive. The most ancient recipes are still here, waiting for us to remember that sometimes the simplest answers provided by nature are still the most effective ones for our health. The kitchen remains the most powerful pharmacy we have if we only take the time to learn the secrets that our ancestors have been trying to teach us for millennia. I hope these 20 recipes inspire you to look at your pantry with new eyes and to realize that healing is often just a simple and honest meal away from your reach.